The poll conducted by the Levada Center in August shows that now only 27% support the war, a fall of 4 percentage points since the beginning of the year and a drop of 13 percentage points compared to August 2024. The share of respondents who believe peace negotiations with Kyiv should be initiated has risen to 66% compared to 61% at the beginning of the year and 50% in August last year. The highest level of support for the war was in May 2023 when Ukraine first began attacking targets in Russian cities with drones. Back then, 48% supported further fighting and 45% supported negotiations, according to the Levada Center's data. The war has increasingly touched the lives of Russian citizens. The poll found that 58% of respondents reported being directly affected by the war. Among them, 30% said a relative or acquaintance had been killed, and 28% said a family member or friend is currently serving. In total, around 17% of Russians surveyed said they had lost someone, while another 16% reported that someone close to them is still fighting. Ukraine remains high at 78%. Of those, 47% said they definitely support the war, while 31% said they mostly support it. Meanwhile, 15% of respondents said they do not support Russia's action, 7% definitely, and 8% mostly against. Ella Panager, a sociologist from the New Eurasian Strategy Center, said that Russian society remains largely indifferent to the war, and it has few true supporters. Concerns primarily revolve around mobilization, the rise of organized crime, and the return of veterans. Polish news website Rzeczpospolita reported, conducting opinion polls in Russia on the war in Ukraine poses challenges to their organizers given the harsh, repressive state policies targeting those who voice any dissent to the conflict. In this case, Moscow said that peace talks with Ukraine were on pause as US President Donald Trump again warned he was fast running out of patience with his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. Trump's efforts to bring the 3.5-year conflict to an end have faltered in recent weeks, with Russia digging into its hardline demands and refusing to halt its ground and aerial attacks. The new standoff came as Russia's army staged major military drills with its key ally, Belarus, on NATO's border, exercises that have spooked the alliance's eastern flank after the downing of Russian drones in Polish airspace this week. 3 rounds of direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, as well as a summit between Trump and Putin in Alaska, have failed to make any progress towards ending the fighting. Moscow's army is grinding forward on the battlefield, and Putin has vowed to carry on fighting if his demands for peace, including Ukraine ceding yet more land, are not met. Our negotiations have the opportunity to communicate through channels, but for now, it is probably more accurate to talk about a pause in talks with Kiev, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters in a telephone briefing. Trump has repeatedly threatened Moscow with additional sanctions if it does not halt its offensive, but has failed to follow through, frustrating Kiev. It's sort of running out and running out fast, but it does take 2 to tango. Trump told Fox Television when asked if his patience was being taxed by Russia's refusal to end the conflict.
More than 100,000 demonstrators packed the streets of London on Saturday for a march organised by far-right activist Tommy Robinson. According to Associated Press, the Unite the Kingdom rally took place at the same time as a smaller counter-protest organised by the Stand Up to Racism group. More than 1,000 police officers were on duty to keep the peace and separate the groups. Police estimated the crowd of the Robinson rally at about 110,000 people. The rival protest had about 5,000 marchers. At one point, the larger crowd stretched from Big Ben across the River Thames and around the corner beyond Waterloo train station. While the crowd was large, it fell far short of one of the biggest marches, when a pro-Palestinian rally drew an estimated 300,000 people in November 2023. Robinson, known for his nationalist views, billed Saturday's rally as a demonstration for free speech and British heritage. The protests come amid ongoing debates over migrants crossing the English Channel. Robinson's real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, who served jail sentences for assault, mortgage fraud and contempt of court. He founded the nationalist street protest group English Defence League in 2009. Even after the group faded from view around 2013, he remains one of the most influential far-right figures in Britain.